All right, boys and girls, this is journal page 6, which is practice 1.1. Number 1, find the absolute value of negative 1. So the absolute value of negative 1 is 1. Number 2, the absolute value of negative 14 is 14. Remember, the absolute value means the distance away from 0. It is impossible to have a negative absolute value. The absolute value of 0, so sad, is 0. That's the only absolute value that's not positive, because 0 is neither negative nor positive. And the absolute value of 6 is 6. Make sure that you make your absolute value signs large enough so I know that's not 161. Complete the statement using less than, greater than, or equal to. 6 is less, 6 is greater than the absolute value of negative 2. Number 6, negative 7 is less than the absolute value of negative 8. Because the absolute value of negative 8 is 8, which is bigger than negative 7. I should have said over here, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2, but 6 is greater than 2. So, number 7. The absolute value of negative 9 is greater than 5, because the absolute value of negative 9 is 9, and 9 is greater than 5. And number 8. The absolute value of negative 2 equals 2. Those are both equal to 2, so those are equivalent. Order the values from least to greatest. Now we have to use what they've given us, but we will put them in order from least to greatest. So while I'm thinking of these, I'll think of a 7 instead of absolute value of 7, and I'll think of a 3 instead of the absolute value of negative 3, but I have to put what they gave me in order. So the smallest here would be negative 4, because negative 4 is less than negative 1. Think of temperatures. Negative 4 is colder than negative 1. Or if you have negative $4, that means you owe somebody $4. Here you only owe somebody $1, which is horrible, but it's less horrible than that. So negative 4 is the least. Negative 1 is greater than negative 4. Then we go on to the absolute value of negative 3, because that's 3. Then 4. And then the absolute value of 7, which is 7. That'd be the greatest thing out there. Number 10, same thing. So we're looking for the smallest number here. That'd be negative 3. Then we're eking our way to the right of the number line to get to negative 1. Then we get to the absolute value of 2, which is 2. Then the absolute value of negative 5, which is 5. And finally, 6. So going up the number line here, going from the left to the right of the number line. And finally, you download 12 new songs to your MP3 player. Then you delete 5 old songs. Write each amount as an integer. I'm not doing any mathematical calculations here, so it does not want me to come up with like 7 for an answer. It wants me to write, you download 12 new songs, so that would be a positive 12. And you delete 5 old songs, so that would be a negative 5. Okay, now we could do a math problem with these, but that's not what they asked. They said write each amount as an integer, and here are our 2 integers. You can put a semicolon in there just so people don't think that's a subtraction problem with a big space. And that is it. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Monday.